Hey everyone, Proper here, just coming at you with a quick video. I just heard the news that Lashana Lynch, I believe that's her name, it was reported today that she's going to be on in the next James Bond film, and it's being said that this is going to be Daniel Craig's last film, and this is going to be somewhat of a, from what I understand, passing of the torch, if you will. Guess making this woman the next 007, not a James Bond. I mean, obviously you can't call a female James Bond James Bond. It doesn't make any sense. But I have said I said a few years ago that the only way that it would work was if you didn't call James Bond, if you were going to cast a female, you couldn't call her James Bond. You had to call her 007. It was the only way to make it work. But I guess upon further reflection, I guess my opinion on that a while ago was just basically because I didn't really care much about James Bond. I didn't really, grow up watching any of those movies. I don't think I've seen in full one of the films, except, well, Skyfall I saw in theaters, but that's about it. I thought they're fine action movies. It's just whatever. To me, they're just, it is what it is. But knowing that this means a lot to so many people, and just seeing after these last couple of years of just seeing just the film industry being essentially creatively bankrupt when it comes to all of these reboots and sequels and what have you, in addition to the overwhelming amount of political correctness and virtue signaling and pushing agendas and all of this crazy ideology, and putting that over the story and the development and the characters and respecting the mythology of what came before. It's just a way to essentially live in this echo chamber of just the same crap being thrown over and over again. And the only way that they feel that they can really spice it up at all is essentially turning all of these, all these male roles and making them female, or making like one character, from white to black, or black to white, or whatever. And it's getting to a point where these characters, they're not who they used to be at all. And that's not staying true to to the character. If you're going to change it up, if you're going to reboot it, at least do it properly, or just better yet, just make a whole new film. I think a lot of the reactions to these kind of movies that tend to do this, let's take for example the casting of Halle Bailey as Ariel. It's not consistent with the original cartoon, which is a white lady with red hair, a ginger, if you will, and that upset a lot of people, I guess, who had red hair, and a lot of people who really loved that original film. A very brilliant film. I loved it when I was a kid. And it seems as though you could very easily just make it exactly how make it exactly how the cartoon was, at least visually. I thought that this was kind of the point of the remakes, but also the point is to make it accurate to the story that was told before, make it familiar, throw in a few new things, and it is what it is. I'm not a fan of remakes, but that's just how those really go, especially with Disney. But I think the issue overall is that when you continue to have these roles being race swapped or gender swapped, it takes away from one. It just shows that you can't come up with your own stories. You can't come up with new characters that will be able to, provide these actors a way to bring their own flair to the role, their own originality, and making that character their own. Because, take for example, what Falcon said at the end of Avengers Endgame. He said, like, I feel that this is somebody else's, and you know what? I mean, it isn't. I get it, but at the end of the day, I don't think that he's not Captain America. That is Steve Rogers. Steve Rogers is Captain America. You are Falcon. Be proud of that. Be proud of that. Spread your wings and fly, babe. So, yeah, it's just one of those things that, to me, just, it just baffles me that you can't come up with an idea that, or a character or a story that's worth telling, and one that people will resonate with, and just not really see it as a whole political thing. It's not going to be. It wouldn't be about race, because it wouldn't be about gender or sexual or whatever the hell you want to throw in there, because it's not. It doesn't take away from the works of somebody else. That's somebody else's that's somebody else's creation. That's somebody else's passion project. Somebody else's child that they, metaphorically, that they worked so hard to create something just so amazing, and then to just spit on that is just disgusting. And it doesn't do any real service to people of color, to gay people, or anybody really, because it just shows what it's demonstrating is not, it's showing like a false, how do I describe it? It's just kind of like, you're not fooling anyone. I know it's disingenuous. There we go. It's very disingenuous, and it comes off as deceptive, because it shows that you can't. What I'm getting from this is they don't respect people of color. They don't respect gay people. They don't care. First off, they only care about virtue signaling. They care about how they're perceived, but which isn't a problem within itself. But in this context, just bear with me. It's not that great. To me, it seems like they are only doing it just for the sake of it, and not because they feel it's the right thing to do, but because they want to use these people as tools to just show off like a freak show. And to me, that's probably the most egregious offense that Hollywood has done in the last few years, and it's just very despicable. It's not something that people should be proud of at all. It's just when somebody's just used like that, they don't know that they're being used. They just think, oh, they're your friends and everything. But they're not. They're not for you. They don't stand by you in any of the, especially when it comes to when it doesn't involve them being able to profit out of it. And it's just absolutely disgusting. And I just want to know what you guys think. And going back, but before I close this out, I just real quick just want to say, this is in no way, shape, or form supposed to be, this isn't meant to attack anybody who's received these roles and have had, the opportunity of a lifetime to play Ariel or to play 007. Even if, even if you were a little girl and you fantasized about being James Bond, I mean, that's fine, but I'm not going to ever be a Disney princess, and I'm not crying about it, and that is what it is. It's like, why the hell would you cast a man in a role that it was for a female? It just doesn't make any sense to me, and it's just really, like, I don't know what kind of parallel universe that I had slipped through where all the movies suck and it's crazy. You know, it's a mad world that we live in, and help us, God help us all. Thank you everyone so much. My name is Proper Jeremy. My PayPal is in the description down below. If you want to donate to the channel, go ahead and follow me on Twitter. Thank you all so much, and have a great day.